They saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox. Greetings, humanity. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I use he/him pronouns. This is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. And I'm very, very happy that we are back. Had a little bit of a hiatus during which life was happening. But let us go around and say hi to those of us here present today. And we shall start with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello. My name is Djinnaya. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Shah Gamelan, who is an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries with the names of my family.
Excellent. And now let us head over to Wilde. Hello.
Hello, I'm Wilde, he, they pronouns, and I am playing Shantanu, an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments. They use they, them pronouns.
Excellent. Unfortunately, Arras could not be with us today as she is currently time traveling, but hopefully shall be back to us soon. But now let us head over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns, but my character, Mac, uses they, them pronouns. Mac the Husk is his full name, and he is an established enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits.
Awesome. And now finally over to Danielle. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I am Danielle. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character, Vor Vanas, who is a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Excellent. And so now we shall... Oh, crap. Thank you very much for the bits and also for the redeemed things. I got those two things confused a moment ago. But now I see where they are. But thank you for both of them, regardless. Sorry, I did not mean to push anyone into giving that which they did not wish to, as I confused the one for the other with my messaging in chat. But I digress. Hi. Like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom video chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're all okay and that we're good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do You just put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. At any time, you can type !ISCW, and that will display the content warnings. They're also going to be rolling periodically through, so they'll show up every now and then. They're on a timer. Also, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. But now let us see. It's been a little while. So once again, I am clearing the Path of Suns for us, and we shall start afresh. But last episode, there was basically a bit of strategizing that went on with those here present. That was Shah and Eroshka and Vor. And they talked about, things that they want to try to get done. Shah had a thing that she needed to get done, which involved searching for a mobile library run by the undead, or run by the dead, as they're called, with a capital D. And Vor had some things to sort out soon with the Church of Midnight, if at all possible. So they went ahead and went over to this place where a memorial was being held for this person that was recently deceased. They thought, okay, perhaps we can find something there, because usually this place, this mobile library, goes around collecting the stories of the recently deceased. And they did indeed find it there. The one in charge of that library, the preceptor, made a deal with them that it's like, okay, well, we don't have Book M in this because they're looking for Book M. Basically, that's the quest in question, handed to Shah by the third hand. Basically, the question sort of came down if they could look through the library of this library, but it is for the dead only. And so they made a sort of a deal where they'd be able to let him look a thing up for them if they would help him to gather the story of the individual who had passed. And they did this. They went into the memorial service and hung out and chatted with some folks. And mind read some folks, because this is how this happens. And they came back and brought information, and so that is then when the preceptor went ahead and was like, okay, well, here's what I've got, and sort of a chain of individuals essentially that might lead possibly to Book M, as of at least like 70 years ago. But it is a lead. And something that we'll have to see kind of how things land here, as it goes. But, yeah, I kind of held back last time from mentioning it because I wasn't sure where our definitive putting a button on the thing is. But basically, upon taking it back to the third hand, there's acumen in it for you, essentially. So it's so basically, folks are going to get another acumen at some point within the next little bit. But And this is quest acumen, so I just give it to the entire party. So that is how this goes. So that is what we last saw. Now we have not seen Mac or Shantano for a little while, and so there is going to be a little bit of catch up. So I am counting today as the day that, because it's still going to be morning, basically. This is the same day that Shah and Arushka and Vor have gone to the have gone to this memorial. And so I'm going to ask, prior to this day, for Mac or for Shantano, are there any things you wanted to have accomplished in particular?
I think Shantano, for the most part, would just be ruminating, I guess almost self-reflecting on exactly what it was they truly did with the demon and the effect that essentially making a part of the demon
Yes.
to them is affecting them.
Well then, I'm going to draw a card. Yeah, didn't take long, did it? Oh, okay. It's... This is either the best or worst possible time to get this card. All right, depending on how you look at it. All right, hang on. Let me bring it in here so that I can, so that we can all revel in this. Okay. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. This is card number 48. Let me go ahead and adjust the screen so that we have it set up right. There we go. The Golden Ship. This is one of the best possible cards you can draw. Like the Golden Ship and the Lucky Coin are both very good cards to have. So this is you have gotten this card before, but not very often. You've gotten the Lucky Coin more often than you've gotten this. So this is a Notions card. Gold is up, silver is down. It is a gold card. Let me turn on the gold sun real quick. Let me activate the gold sun as we do this. There we are. The gold sun going in the silver spot. That can't mean anything ominous. Its meanings are wealth earned, honor, prestige, respect. There are many ships, but only one golden ship. This legendary vessel supposedly carries only the greatest heroes, the most influential celebrities, the highest nobles, and the most powerful Vizsla to ports of call most people cannot even imagine. Even seeing the ship is a great honor. It represents wealth and prestige. In divination, a highly positive card, the golden ship suggests that one will earn wealth, fame, or respect, or all three. It presages a successful endeavor, but usually only if that endeavor is grand in scope. The golden ship does not waste its time on petty actions or minor deeds. Alternatively, this card might suggest the intervention, again probably in a positive way, of someone wealthy, well-respected, or influential. So, you got a piece of Segildrak, the enemy of reason. and you've been contemplating it and trying to determine its effects, and something quite extraordinary has resulted. Or something at least that looks like it's going to be good. Looks like it's going to be good. I need to emphasize that. So let's see. I should have taken some time and picked out some things, but that's all right. I'll do that later. So I think that how this will start is considering the projects that you have been working on. There are going to be a couple of things that happen. One is that you find yourself, you're remembering more about that model that you created of the soul prior to model of the soul prior to the war, and it seems as though there is this interesting inverse, because you can see it from the opposite side, because you also now have the perspective a little bit of the void on this. And so it is, you're starting to see how it could be applied, and how certain things could be applied to shall we say, make adjustments to flows of magic, natural flows of magic, the way things go. If it were mishandled, it could be disastrous. But it occurs to you that a few of the things that you have seen of late in terms of how certain things are working. The most notable example actually being the party and the observatory. You think that someone actually might have been using, that there are people out there, and it's multiple sources, you're sure, are using your work to achieve these things. There was a lot that was theoretical, but also did involve two sides to, sort of duality of reality. If you think as you have the actuality and you have the void outside, you have, or you can look at it as day side and night side. And it involved just sort of being able to keep track of where these things are. And on a personal level, you think about how that's affected your processes now. And so you had two projects that were currently ongoing spell creation projects. One of these was a message sending spell that allowed you to bypass the noosphere, and you can actually let you message anybody. You can get it probably faster if they're within like 100 miles of you, but you can also hit them on other suns. May take a little longer if it's more distant. But you now have this improved messaging spell, because you only had like 2 weeks left that you had to work on it. You figured it out. You figured out the rest of it in like one night. So that is now ready. You now have this spell. You can name it whatever you like, but you now have this message sending spell. If you have an item of the recipients, an important item of the recipients, then it does not matter where they are. They will get the message quickly. We judged that spell to be level 3. At the time. Oh, naive creatures that we were. But we can jack it up or down if we want to, depending on how we do it. Anyway, that is now ready. You've also knocked a couple of weeks off your shard tracking spell. So now, instead of 6 weeks, you only have 4 weeks left for that to be ready.
I think it's level 3 as long as I have a personal item.
Yeah, okay, yes, that's right. That's what it is. That's what it is. So yeah. So I mean, so like, you've made significant progress. Also going to suggest that you're probably going to find something, but I will figure out what that is. That's going to happen probably a little bit later, and I'll figure out what that is. But so that's a thing that has happened. Now let me ask, prior to this day, Mac, is there anything that you want to have had sorted out?
Hey there. So I feel like what Mac has been doing in his downtime since I got back to Saturnine is that he's actually been focused on self-improvement. He's actually taking his role as the Jenga Tower superintendent seriously.
Oh my god.
What? Why is that such a shocker? He's doing it because he wants to help the property values around Shaw's mine, to increase. So it's win-win in the end for them. Maybe they'll attract some new brunch spots to the area. They don't even have to, go very far for that. But so I think there's that. But underneath that is this layer of focus. I believe the vision that he had of his impending / inevitable showdown with Dark-Eyed Manfred has been looming pretty heavily on his mind. So he's been trying to sharpen his skills for combat and, trying to make sure he's got good spirits to support him if things were to throw down. He was also not really happy about failing to capture the person who was trying to murder the group back in Yestervale.
Yeah. That's a thing that's still that's probably going to require attention soon. Let me do one thing real quick. There's something. There it is. So the important question that I have for you, a very significant, earth-shattering question that I have for you about this is, have you repaired Mrs. Johnson's water heater?
Yes. In fact,
oh my
that
god!
was the first thing that Mac came back to resolve. Having, by the way, happened to provide a vessel service to the spirit of a which moon is involved with the which sun is involved with water?
With water. Well, it varies because there are oceans on most of the suns, depending on how you look at it. So if you want like pure, so it depends on what your angle is. So if you want something sort of pure and elemental, you'd probably go with green. If you want something that's more like the idea of water, you might go with blue. Gold has an ever-changing ocean that I think you may have seen before, actually. And indigo, of course, has an ocean. So it would be like it. So it really depends if you're looking, sort of towards a more elemental connection there. I'm sure, though. Let me see here. I can also do this thing where I will open the. I can open one of these things and find a reference to the thing of which color does which kind of magic. Let me see if I might find that. Just figure out which book that is. Is that in the way? Is that the does the way display that? Wait. No, I wrote it down. This is one of the things I wrote down. We go to the place where I wrote it down. The thing about having so many tabs. It's not that one, it's not that one. Notes. Planning, there it is. Okay, Colors of Magic, way page 12. Or at least on the, probably, if I'm typing it in on the PDF, that's probably the one I would use. It's actually page 10. So silver is creation. Green is the quickening. This broad category includes any practice that involves motion and association anything alive, as pertains to the essence of its life. Blue is the mind. Indigo is truth. Gray is illusion. Pale is piercing the veil. Red is ruin, and gold is transformation. So I suspect it would be green, but what are you looking for here?
Yeah, we'll go with green because I feel like Mac's strongest ties right now are to the spirits of the green.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're gonna try. So you summoned a water spirit to help you with it.
I think that there was he provided a vessel for a particular water spirit from the green, and they happened to have specialized in aqueducts for some odd reason, and so we didn't just fix the plumbing. We brought a serious sense of style and architectural flair to this Jenga tower.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a card real quick. Just just as a slight thought.
It just wouldn't be the same without it.
It wouldn't, really. Let's see. What did we draw? we drew card number 40. The fleeting moment. So, as a reminder here, the fleeting moment, it's a mysteries card. Its meanings are lost time, elusiveness, agility, and reaction. It is an indigo card, indigo being up and gray being down. So let me go ahead and turn the sun indigo. There we go. Time moves inexorably forward. Sometimes it moves so quickly that we lose track of it. We try to watch, we try to pay attention, and yet it's gone. Mercurially, it slips through our fingers. Time can move so rapidly, in fact, that we can lose time. Look at the clock, it's 6:22. Look again, seemingly a moment later, and it's 8:05. They say that there was once an hour that came after midnight, but eventually it moved so quickly that it disappeared altogether. Alas, I know where it went. But that's not canon. Anyway, if that's true, perhaps it's the fate of all time, and the midnight hour will flit away next. Time is elusive and impossible to hold. No matter how you try, it's a force even the gods fear. In divination, quick and decisive reaction is the advice suggested by this card. The implication is that something is going to happen. It's going to happen soon, and it's going to happen fast. One must be ready. This could be a threat, or it could be a valuable opportunity. Either way, one has to react to it with agility, physical, mental, or both, or this elusive event will flitter away, leaving only its results behind to show that it even happened. Interesting. So, I will say that you do find it's a very rewarding and Zen-like thing. This restructuring of the water system. I feel like this feels like one of those projects where you start with like a single water heater and you end up redesigning the plumbing for the entire building.
Yes.
And so I think that there comes this point where you look up and it's been several days, but you finished it. And it is interesting trying to work out where water is going to flow through pocket dimensions, because you have to figure that out in order to do that for this building. You now understand a little bit better how this works. And you actually probably during the time, from time to time, you might have actually consulted with a gold spirit possibly as well, just to figure out how the building's dimensions move. So that is a thing that we can have in our back pocket. But it is a sort of a tiring thing, and then there's this point. You keep finding for the last few days, for those 5 seconds that you cease to exist at midnight, you find that those 5 seconds seem to be filled with you looking at stars. And then a moment comes as we roll into the morning of this day. You are asleep. And there comes a point when you open your eyes you're staying in the, I'm assuming you're staying in the foreman's apartment, yes?
That's correct.
he has a bed, which is not incredibly comfortable, but it's a sort of a small bed. He also has a hammock. Which one of those do you generally prefer to sleep in?
Oh, it's definitely the bed.
Okay. It's very firm, little mattress on it. It basically takes up very little space. But you find yourself opening your eyes, and it feels more real than the last few times this has happened, and usually this happened at midnight. You're not sure when it is now. You're not sure if you're awake or not. But you're lying in the bed, and you've got the covers on you, and you look up and you see a field of stars. And from off and above to your left, you hear a voice. Oh no, don't get up on my account. I would stay lying there if I were you. Quite honestly.
Mac is just going to pause there for a moment. And then he's going to sit up.
You are... Sorry, yeah, you... I was going to tell you what you see when you sit up, if you so desire, but yeah.
Yeah, he will sit up, and he's going to throw his pillow in the direction from where he heard the voice.
Okay. Let me open something really quickly. Just out of sheer curiosity. Is it important that you hit your target? I think is a question.
I would roll for this.
Okay. Let me open the thing. Okay. So the challenge here is 13. Is there anything in particular you would like to throw at this?
Let's be real. There really isn't anything that applies in this situation.
Pillow throwing? Martial arts pillow throwing? Anything?
No. I mean, let's not get too crazy here.
Okay.
This is more a point of pride than it is actually trying to hurt someone.
That's fair. So, I will tell you, as you are sitting up, you will see that you're on this platform, and you see in the distance ahead of you that there's a platform and then empty space, and far ahead of you and far off somewhere there's another platform with like a little garden-looking thing on it that connects to a staircase up among the stars. And you look and you see there's off as you turn your head to the left where you just threw the pillow, you see another staircase coming down amidst the starry field, and standing upon that staircase, sort of playing with a very thin knife, sort of moving it back and forth with a single hand, is dark-eyed Manfred. I actually I have the picture of dark-eyed Manfred. I have put it into the thing. I will now display it. For folks to see of whom we speak. As always have described, gentleman with a
I'm
long
sorry,
Victorian
but
coat.
who tucks their suit pants into their boots? What a terrible, horrible look.
Terrible, terrible people. It's no. I don't know.
No
Well,
accounting for taste.
I don't know. Actually, there are practical reasons to do it, I would suppose. But blue sort of Victorianish overcoat and cravat, dark hair with white streak, pocket watch chain, and so yeah, he catches the pillow with his offhand. He just sort of tells you get it up there. And he just sort of examines it for a second. Just sort of shakes his head. And nothing but the best of accommodations for you, eh? He just sort of casually tosses it off the side of the staircase and it goes floating down drifting off into space.
Excuse you. That was a down pillow. You know, those just don't grow on trees.
He shrugs, he says, I think there is I believe there is a tree that grows those, but, it's not here. What are we going to do with you?
Oh, so we're doing this now? Is this how it's going to be? And,
Believe it in... I'll go ahead.
Mac is just going to, with a flourish, pull the bed sheet off the bed and wear it like a toga because, well, he didn't really go to bed in pajamas. So, you know, if he's going to die today, he's going to die with a little bit of dignity. Possibly a lot of stab wounds, unless he's hurt.
He's just sort of twiddling the thing. He says, he's just sort of shaking his head. You really don't want to climb these stairs right now. Besides, we've something to discuss, you and I.
I can't imagine what we would have to discuss. I think it was pretty clear that you tried to arrange for my death, and I steadfastly refuse those terms.
So you've remembered? All of it?
Took a little bit of detective work, but yes. I feel like whatever the details and circumstances are, doesn't really quite change the fact that I'm marked.
Well, you're quite lucky that at present my client does not desire your death. Of course, if it does happen anyway, they don't really particularly care. You know, most of my cases are usually not personal. I shall admit, though, I shall allow it a little bit. That one was just a touch personal. I perhaps did allow a little bit of my own personal desires to slip through on that.
Well, I'm fairly certain you were never really quite known for your professionalism.
You want to come over here and say that?
You can hear me perfectly fine from here. I mean, I'm more than happy to climb those stairs. I've been upping my cardio, so.
Well, I wonder, how is it that you recall I attempted to off you?
I'm fairly certain you had a hand in that. Goetic who tried to send spirits after me and my brunch mates, which felt a tad insulting, given how good I am at this part of Goetic.
You know, I would love to take credit, but actually that was not mine.
Well, I mean, it was so clumsily done. I just figured it would.
There are very few people who try my patience the way you do. But I shall at least speak my piece before we get to anything more interesting. My client desires that you stay out of their business. And on a personal note, I do know that you have, shall we say, a tendency to introduce a rather random element into things sometimes. One that it would perhaps be helpful if it did not enter into these things. I was merely to propose that we steer clear of each other, as it's a rather delicate time. And if you agree to this, I will tell you who burned down your house. Another one that I'm afraid I cannot take credit for, I'm afraid, before you ask.
Well, arson is a little too messy for even the likes of you. Well, as much as I feel my own actions and manners seem that I'm a little bit on the self-centered side, my brunch companions have, shall we say, agendas of their own, and I've take it upon myself to assist them with it. And well, if their agendas happen to cross your employers, well, I feel bad for you.
Well then, I shall just have to make a more convincing offer. Good to know. It has been a while since we've crossed swords. It's, in some ways, perhaps I miss it a bit. I really have you to thank for, shall we say, realigning some of my priorities in the earlier days. But perhaps that's for another time. He continues, sort of moving the knife back and forth. And he slowly is starting to descend the stairs. as he does so. Shakes his head. But, well, perhaps it would be best to just eliminate you. It might be best. It might be best to draw out your suffering. You've not remembered everything yet, have you? You've proven that. All right. Yes.
I mean, if you're trying to torture me by boring me to death, then you are rather successful.
Let's try a change of perspective, shall we? And the platform you're on rumbles for a moment. And it's like a pane of glass moves aside, almost as though it's like you were looking into a mirror, but it's not a mirror. But it's like a pane of glass. As it's like it turns out a pane of glass was between you and him. And as it moves aside and you see what's actually behind it, rather than what it's reflecting, or so it would seem, you find that that the platform is in a different perspective. You're still standing on the platform, but it's almost, we're slightly in Escherland now. And the staircase that he is standing on is above you, just a bit, and coming down, and does get to a point where he gets very close to the platform, and as you can see him, and he steps closer, as he's suddenly much closer, sort of pulls his knife back and says, I told you should have stayed down. And as he pulls his arm back to throw it, you hear in your ear this screeching for a moment. This and that is when you wake up. And basically Sagan is next to you, like, he's going like, boss! You're like, you were fading out for a second there.
Oh, I fade out for every, couple of seconds every night at midnight.
He moves he's like, he turns and he flaps over to the window where that has these the pull down shades. And he just sort of pulls it and the shade rolls up and you see the sun streaming in. You're like, yeah, that'd be one thing, except it's almost noon. Yes. Yes, that'd be... Not supposed to happen right now, is it?
Well, no.
You've been out for a while.
That is rather disconcerting.
Yeah. He's like, looks up. Hey, he says, I got a message. Some of your friends are up in the good God, rain going away. Are up in the Brickhouse district. They're doing something, but I think they may be coming back. And actually, let's go ahead and pan over so that we might determine what's been happening. As Jim looks up at the clock and realizes he needs to get a move on, I'd like to know, first off, at some point after the memorial service, well, it's not a service, after the memorial, did you folks want to try to meet up with other folks, or was there some very particular nefarious thing that needed to happen?
No, I mean, if other people are available, I think we would go try to pick people up after our shenanigans with the undead library.
Excellent. Is Shantano available this morning?
They would be, yes. I mean, they're just contemplating their new self.
That's fair. There's a lot to contemplate. It's like this is I can see so many things now. Where would you folks like to meet up?
Brunch, obviously.
Brunch,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, clearly, yeah. It's
Typically,
definitely.
yeah.
I mean, really, what kind of question is that?
I know, that's true. I shouldn't. Why did I even ask?
And before you say anything, yes, we did have brunch before we left Shah's mine, and yes, we're going to have brunch again.
It is the only meal.
Yeah.
The only meal.
Well, I mean, I think especially if we found out that Mac and Shantano could meet us, because we had brunch without them.
That's true.
So we would definitely need to establish a place that we could have brunch together.
There's 3 square meals a day: pre-brunch, brunch, and after brunch. So.
Yes.
So we had pre-brunch. This is brunch.
I imagine that we've been in the Brickhouse district. Maybe there's a very fancy place for brunch in the Brickhouse district. And we sort of discovered it as we were walking back to the train and just instantly sent messages to Mac and Shantano through the news sphere to be like, hey, we found the brunch.
Get over here. Address enclosed.
It's true. It is a kind of a in some ways more upscale place. Let me see if Brickhouse district, in case they happen to have any already. If not, we will conjure one. Let's see. Art's Hearth, an expensive but lovely restaurant. Art's Hearth serves comforting food that is well prepared. The interior is dimly lit by flickering flames, and the place generally smells of rosemary and sage.
Love it.
It is apparently owned by a sapient shadow. Someone who escaped Shadow and is adapted to Saturnine.
Then I feel like they probably would know how to do a good classic brunch.
I think so. I'm just going to draw another card real quick as we're sorting this out. For not only is it a new scene, but it is a new brunch site. So this is important. Let's see. Okay. All right. Wait, brunch site. Art's Hearth. Okay. So I have drawn is card number 28. The Swan. Which, let me just go ahead and let me just see if I can find that in the card listing first, because because that's going to be rough to. It is a companion of visions. So it's in the visions section. That's where I should be looking. There it is. Okay. Its meanings are good fortune, good weather, and latent talents. Elegant and serene, the swan is the companion card of the Visions family. It is a harbinger of luck, and in particular, it is said to bring calm, favorable weather with it wherever it goes. But as many someones have said, we make our own luck. In this case, the swan represents that as well. In the midst of a challenge, someone displays a talent, an affinity, or even a magical ability that they didn't know they had. When this happens, it's sometimes called a swan event. In divination, this is a card suggesting good fortune. Winds of fate blow favorably for the person in question in the path that lies before them. Rarely, however, it is deeper than that. The swan and its resultant swan events, can suggest that one might have a talent that has so far been unrecognized, even by the person in question. That talent is the key to moving forward and succeeding at some upcoming challenge. But how does one discover such a thing? Okay. So yes, you stumble across this place, rather coincidentally. This place, Heart's Hearth, it is, I want to say it's not terribly far, from where you were. It's, it's just a bit northwest. Once you hit the main, once you hit the spine, it's actually off of the spine. This place, and it is sort of, you go in and there's this whole setup that it looks very much, the interior is very much like it's got paintings of murals of nature on the walls. There's like there's several little ponds, the little fish ponds and stuff that have been put throughout. And just sort of this very sort of natural, relaxing feel. There are a couple of little fake waterfalls. And the owner, Jason, of this place is he kind of comes forward, and he is a looks like very, he's doing the just sort of the kind of is wearing sort of the button-up shirt and vest on top of it to that all managers seem to wear in restaurants in the gray. He mostly knows how to cook things from shadow, but understands that people from Satyrine expect the surreal, so is kind of has learned how to do other sorts of repasts as well. It's usually going to be a variation on a kind of a very sort of an upscale, what you might find in an upscale dining establishment in Shadow. So you folks shall will have gathered there. It's probably just before the afternoon, or roughly that time, if you so desire.
Yeah, we'll get a table big enough for all of us. I guess we've lost Aroshka somewhere along the way.
Yes, Aroshka has slipped into Shadow for now.
And I'll order waffles.
Ooh, that sounds good. Vor's gonna go for like some French toast or something like that to start. Classic. Also is gonna order a round of, or maybe a pitcher of mimosas for the table. So that there can be mimosas when Shantano and Mac arrive.
Excellent. And do Mac and Shantano choose to attend once they have received this message through the noosphere?
Yes. Definitely.
Absolutely.
You come into this place. It's very it's very quaint. It's very it's kind of well, it's not a it's one of those restaurants. It looks a little bit like a nicely painted sort of breakfast house type thing. Also, all the places in the brick house district are all the buildings are made of red brick, but On the inside, it's got these murals, but it's they do serve stuff like up to the level of like pate and things of that nature, if you want to do that. But it also will. It has waffles and it has breakfast stuff. It actually does have like upscale versions of diner stuff also. So that's fairly popular.
I think Shantano's gonna start with something like, soda, steak, and eggs.
Classic.
Sorry. Mac is actually... He's gonna seem a little somber. He's definitely gonna down his first cup of coffee before he even sits down. But so he's gonna order oatmeal.
Oh my god.
It's a tame choice this morning there, Mac.
Getting older, might need to fill up on the fiber a little bit. Low burning energy.
Brunch isn't about fiber.
Maybe I just need to try something new with brunch.
What happened to our Mac who went and cherished hunting their brunch?
Mac, are you okay?
Maybe why wouldn't I be okay? I mean,
Well, you're ordering oatmeal for brunch.
It's just a starter. I'll put some brown sugar and syrup in it.
Would you like us to get you a bigger glass for your mimosa? We can get a pint glass.
Or a pitcher?
Or a
Yeah,
whole
you-
pitcher. We could
you
get a
can-
second pitcher and a straw.
Exactly. Get like a really fun one, like the swirly straw.
Yes.
Oh, really? Could we actually get one of those helmets that we can attach the two pitchers to and then have double straws going down?
Can
I mean-
can I please? This is the height of Weaver magic. Can I please make a mimosa hat? For Mac?
A mimosa hat.
It's a mimosa, has to be fancy. It's like a fedora.
Is it like Yeah, I mean, you can just sort of like start trying to conjure this. Well, it depends. Do you want it to be permanent or temporary?
I would really love for it to be permanent. Just
All right.
because I think that would be amazing. And if
Conjuration.
Mac ever stops wanting it, I will take it back.
Well, let's see.
Hang on, I gotta see if I have appropriate if I can actually weave this.
I mean, you might.
I'm gonna go find the weaver.
Let's see.
Where my weaver? Ugh,
See, levels of effects. Here we go.
the weaver's right up there.
Let's see. Create a temporary minor item that can be held in one hand is level 2. Create a
Lust.
see.
That's the other one I have now.
temporary item like a weapon. Create or summon a leveling creature for 4 hours. Create a permanent item that can be held in one hand is level 4.
All right, that seems legit. I think I'm
Creation,
going.
so I think it's silver magic.
Okay.
This is also a companion card. I need to look at that.
I am going to weave heat from fire because there's alcohol, and pleasure from lust because alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
and
I sense a theme.
this is gonna be some spicy mimosas, and Let's see here. What else would be appropriate? You know what? I'm gonna weave strength also from diamond. Again, alcohol. People who have had something to drink think that they are stronger than they actually are. To make a hat. Booze for Mac.
So you're not penalized in this because this is, I think this is probably silver magic if you're just conjuring a thing from thin air. I think. And
Yeah.
The companions duplicate the effects of the previous cards, so we're still actually technically under the I guess the Indigo Sun. Let me double check. Is that the one? Yes. So we're still under the Indigo Sun technically. So yeah, if you want to if you want a permanent item, do you want it to look like a fedora? Is that the
I would pick whatever best fits Mac's look. Like if it's a fedora, it can be a fedora. But I want it to blend.
Is it more flat capish? What is Mac? What is your hat of? I remember you had a flat cap at one time, but I don't know. If that's
no, I feel like this is definitely a flat cap type of hat.
Yeah. So you conjure up this. You conjure up this thing that is a flat cap, but also capable of holding a couple of glasses, a couple of mimosa glasses.
It has little swirly straws coming down.
Fancy swirly straws.
There's no rolling involved here. You're just making a thing. But,
yeah, I'm just making a thing. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not attacking anybody.
And you're not trying to do it quickly or anything. So.
No, I think I do really love the idea of like Vor just like taking a look and then like waving her hands in the air, almost like she's sketching it, and then snapping her fingers, and just the hat appears.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My gift to you, Mac.
Shaw looks a little bit taken aback and goes, "That was so fast."
It's not as what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not as sophisticated as what you can do, Shaw.
Oh. Huh. Downs the rest of her mimosa and fills her glass back up.
You've been practicing. This is wow, I'm very impressed.
Thank you. I have been practicing. In fact, I've recently advanced somewhat in my order.
Oh, well, I think that well, we always knew all of us were destined for bigger things. I mean, frankly, we are without peers because our peers obviously don't do brunch. If they did, well, they would be on our level.
I will drink to that.
Cheers.
And there's just a quiet slurping noise as he sips.
Oh my god.
Straws.
Yeah.
So, have we all gained additional abilities, powers, rankings, perhaps?
Yes, I have. How? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, Shantno, but how does that work for, your path?
Oh. I think it's just a single line. But I think I'm becoming one with the void, if that's something important. That's probably nothing.
like the collective head tilt that all of us did.
And I think that one of the more terrifying things is that Shantano probably, I'm guessing, tell me if I'm overstepping here, but Shantano seems strangely a little more focused this morning than usual.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely like they have their mind on something and not just anymore.
Is this a good
Less
thing?
distracted by shiny objects.
Yeah.
Is this a good thing, Shantano, that you are becoming one with the void? Are we happy about this development?
What is there something wrong with the void? I mean,
I didn't say that. I'm asking if you're happy. Because if you're happy, I will be happy for you.
I mean, I guess in certain terms it helps me to helps me to find this demon situation that may or may not be a thing. You know, just that thing that we're supposed to keep an eye on just in case.
Okay. I'm going to choose to interpret that as positive and say that I'm happy for you.
I mean, I don't see how it could go wrong.
Isn't, maybe I just got my signals mixed up, but isn't the void sort of the ending of all things? The opposite of creation, the ending of existence, you know, those things.
From what I've heard, every end also leads to beginning.
Yes, but not for the things that ended.
Haven't thought about that yet.
I think Shaw turns and just looks at Mac with this feeling like, please say something smart.
I mean, the void feels inherently empty. I'm not sure that's how you would want things to be.
I mean, I guess from a purely philosophical point of view, isn't there just a little bit of void in all of us?
Well, it's not one that is perpetual. I mean, he just gestures with a spoonful of oatmeal. We fill that void with brunch. It's just that being one with the nothingness means that he would be perpetually empty.
All right.
He says with an unenthusiastic bite of his meal.
Well, that just goes to show the true power of brunch.
Vor's gonna lean in closer to Mac and be like, I don't think you're filling any voids with that oatmeal.
I think the point here, Shantano, is that maybe brunch and the void are opposites, and it's important to just maintain a space for both in your life. For balance.
If there's no void, then how will I fill it with brunch?
I guess maybe just don't let the void get so big you can't fill it with brunch. Maybe a brunch-sized void. Not anything bigger than that. I mean, just maybe. I don't want to limit you. I am your friend, and you are very important to me, and I want you to be happy. I just think maybe you should experiment with this process slowly.
Well, I should definitely do my best to keep it in check. So to
Yes.
speak.
And let us know that you're okay, and if you need any help, please. Thank you.
I do appreciate the offer. I mean, who knows? Maybe something good could come from exploring the void every now and then.
Muted.
Sorry, did you say you've been exploring the void?
I mean, how else am I supposed to track a demon?
Well, I honestly don't know how to trap a demon.
You know, unfortunately, I
Kind of.
don't have the amazing summoning skills as you do, Mac. So I can only go about it the ways that I can come up with.
That was very somber. As this spoon now clatters around in his empty bowl of oatmeal.
Would you maybe want to upgrade that oatmeal to, I don't know, grits or something?
French toast is very good.
I don't have any particular reason as to why I just wanted oatmeal, but I really don't think it's all that bad, frankly.
As long as you're happy with it.
I just need to do a quick sound adjustment real quick, just to make sure we're verbal here. Yeah, okay, there we go. Good. Sorry.
Happens.
Let me also do something here. Yeah. There's a thing happening. Yeah. Also, yeah. There's a strange effect happening where the players are able to hear my air conditioning, but the audience, I don't think can, because of the way the filter is working. Alas, the filter is not. Is only for the viewers and not for Zoom, as it were. But let me just get this really quickly. Sorry, doing 9 million things, processing. There we go. Yes, evidently the audience cannot hear it. The AC. But, thank you, I appreciate it. Okay. Yes, you are. You are sitting here chatting about this.
I will order some fancy candy cap lattes for the table to try and like break the mood, and then say, well, not to change the subject entirely from this thing about the void, which was very interesting and absolutely comfortable to talk about, but we have had a bit of an adventure, you see. So I met some lovely people. I got invited into this small group. They're called the Third Hand, and they get together and they sort of solve mysteries together. And they're looking for this book that has a lot of secrets in it. And we may have found the first clue to try to get us to the book. And I told them that I would do that, and then maybe we'd all kind of work together with this group to try and find this book of secrets. And I told them that I wouldn't do it unless I could do it with my friends, and they said that would be fine. So what do you think?
I've already agreed to help, just FYI.
Absolutely. And Max says this almost immediately after she finishes.
Oh.
I've had some of my greatest adventures in books, so of course.
Oh, good. Wonderful. So our first step was to try to find it at this place in this library of dead people, like of memories of dead people, books of dead people, but only dead people can read them. So it didn't have the book there, but we found a few clues that we need to take back to the Third Hand at some point. We could do that together, but also Vor really needs to go to the Church of Midnight. I thought we could bring the Church of Midnight, the friend who's in the cage, because I really don't know what to do with him, and I'm afraid that he's either going to get out or die. Shotno, just smile.
Wait, do things still age in your cages?
Yes.
Oh.
I think so. Time still passes, maybe. More or less.
Were we supposed to feed them?
No, that you can you feed someone in one of your cages, Sha?
No. I mean, they don't seem to suffer from being in the cage. They're not hungry, and they don't seem to need other rooms, or
Okay.
I've never let someone out after a while and had them smell like they needed a shower. So I guess
Okay, so it's
time does sort of stop a little bit.
probably fine that we've left them in the cage for what I assume has now been a couple of weeks.
Yes, it's just like the cage isn't 100% reliable, you see, and one of these days I'm going to wake up in the morning and he's just going to be standing right there.
Well, that would be awkward.
Yeah, and it was someone who infiltrated the church, so it does make sense to go
Right.
remand them into the church's custody, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah. Someone had placed an additional order for something just a moment ago, didn't you? There was an additional
Handicap lattes.
handicap lattes. Excellent. So a lot of the thing being, Jason cannot cook things magically, but he does have floating plates that he will have sent out. But he will bring out the lattes personally, and he will also say. I think somebody. Oh, hey, I think somebody left this for your table here. They said, they said table 5. So, and it's an envelope which he sets down.
Is the envelope addressed to anyone in particular?
It is blank on the outside.
All right. If nobody else reaches for it, Vor's going to take it and open it.
Okay. I'm going to need to meta something just very slightly here,
Okay.
because I do not know the immediate future. But it will. There's a note inside. And the note will say, let's see. Actually, let me check this one thing. Yeah, okay. Let me check the wording of this thing that is that I had right here. Yes. Okay, yes. If you wish to avoid suffering, meet me today in the Park of the Path. You will know me when you see me. And a thing happens. Once you have read this, I assume you hold the note up and you read it?
Yeah.
As you are setting it down, there's a brief flash from the envelope. And very briefly, everyone has a quick little vision. You're still sitting at your table. You're sitting around the same table. But the table is now located on the street outside of Shah's mine. There is a rumbling sound, and you look over and see that it's coming from the tower. And you watch as an apartment very low down, is pulled out or disintegrated very quickly, and the rest of the tower topples. This loud rumbling sound as block after block, apartment block after apartment block, thud downward. Around you, onto the street, onto the mine. This massive cloud of dust comes up and envelops you all. And then you are back in the restaurant.
There's no signature on this note. It's just meet me. You'll know me when you see me, but no indication of who.
There's no signature, no.
I meet eyes with everybody and then go, check.
Perfect. Yeah, I think we're going there now first.
Jason will rush your check over, and so you get your.
Mind if I take a look at that note? For?
Yeah, by all means. And I'll hand it to Shantanu.
You have a note.
What's I can do about this? I'll probably have to sleep for it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm just gonna hold on to it for now. I don't think it's gonna be on the way.
Okay, you're just gonna hold on to it. Okay, cool. So what are you folks doing?
I would like to go to the Park of the Path now.
Do we need to make sure that what we saw was not happening and was just what would happen?
That struck me very much as if you want to avoid suffering, that this is the suffering that will be avoided. Well, we could stop by and confirm if you want.
No, we can go to the park.
Yeah, the park is in Fartown, so you could swing by your neighborhood if you so desire. By the way, finally, I put the map of Fartown into the Roll20, and here it is.
lot of firsts in today's episode.
Yes. And
They're so organized.
the thing about it, and let me go ahead also, I also put it into into the thing here. So let me go ahead and display it for a moment for the audience, who probably won't be able to make out a huge amount of detail on it right there, but that's overall what the map looks like. So the you are close. Your neighborhood is a bit south of where 13 Station is marked on the map, which is in the sort of an upper half of it. Though, yeah, it's kind of legible. And the Park of the Path, as you recall, is down near the Carousel of Storms. And you would come into Fartown through the gate to the Hollows, which is in the middle. So you can, if you want, take a detour up northeast a little bit, before you head down, if you want. But that is entirely up to you.
I'm fine to go straight there, but Shad, if you want to stop, we can.
Well, I figure once we get into Fartown, we would know if something that extreme had happened. So, right? Because we're in Fartown. If the Jenga tower fell and like there was massive calamity, there would be
That's
general chaos.
I feel like you'd be able to see it from a distance. The Jenga tower is pretty tall.
Yeah, from the gate, you can probably just make it out. So when you come out through the gate, you are relieved to see, as you can sort of see in the distance, the Jenga tower is still there, still doing that slow thing that it does. So it has not fallen. Also, I will say, as after you come through the gate, there is a brief flurry of movement, and there is a small creature standing next to Shantano. Just sort of sniffing at their hand. It is it's about the height of a medium-sized dog. It is very black, frizzy fur all over it, and it looks very much like an alpaca.
And they'd be like, "May I help you?"
Oh, hi, sweetie. And Shaw pulls out a bolt from one of their pockets, and you see them electrify it and then feed it to this.
Yeah, this creature was for a moment trying to sort of lick, was sort of starting to try to lick Shantano's hand, and was just sort of like, and then you pull that out, and they're like, and it'll clop over on its little hooves, and it will consume this bolt of this electrified bolt.
Can I pet the alpaca? Will it let me?
It's a, if you come at it like carefully from the front, it's a little skittish, but if you come at it and then just very moving
We've been
slowly.
around enough animals to know, like you give them a chance to like sniff you first and like come to you.
If you move slowly, this is like this is very small for an alpaca, but you can pet it, and it's this interesting sensation as you're petting it, where you can feel the electricity coursing through, and there's this that courses over it in waves, and your hair. You have hair.
Bora has blonde.
Your hair stands up a bit as it's because it's been consuming this electricity, and it's now a little bit fuzzier as a result.
Yeah, as you try to pet it, Shaw will assure you that it is absolutely safe, that it's never hurt anybody.
What did you name it again, Shaw?
Oh, I haven't named him yet.
You've got to pick a name.
Me too. Would you need a name?
You gotta state what it wants to be named.
What would you like to be named?
Clops over. Back now that it's sort of finished its meal, sort of clops over and just sort of starts sniffing around Shantano again. For some reason, it seems to like Shantano.
When Shah asks, like, what would you like to be named? Can I pick at can I read its mind to see if it actually like has a thought about that?
Yes, you can.
Cool. I'd love to do that.
I'm not gonna draw a card yet. But you learn two interesting things.
Okay.
About this creature. When you do this. The first thing that you note, is that there is this yawning chasm in its mind. And I'm not talking about intelligence. It is... How do I put this? It's like looking into the abyss underneath all of its thoughts.
Interesting.
And I think that the other thing that you learn about it, I'm trying to find a suitable thing here. Real quick. Oh, sure, we'll do that. That you think that it's... If it has a name, it hasn't really had a lot of much in the way of name in the past, but it kind of has a name, Mop.
Mop?
Yes.
Oh my god.
People have called it Mop. It kind of liked that.
Oh my god. Okay. I think Vor does actually chuckle a little bit upon finding this creature with the abyss in its frame, but it really likes being called Mop. Then she'll turn back to Sean and say, well, apparently at some point someone in the past has called it Mop, and it likes that.
Oh. That seems like not a tremendously kind name, but I guess if it likes it, I think that's okay. Is that what you like, Mop?
It responds when you call it that.
All right. Well, Mop,
so Shaw, I feel like you should know that this in its head is just like abyss.
Shaw is petting it and like scratching it, and she turns and looks at you and goes, "Thor, that's not very nice."
No, I'm not saying it. No.
I mean, we all have. Like some animals, they just have intelligence in different ways.
Shaw, no, that's not what I mean. it's not that it's not intelligent. It's perfectly intelligent. I mean, it's like the abyss in its head.
Huh. Shaw takes it and kind of like turns its mouth over and looks into its big, like fluttery eyelash eyes and says, "Oh, no, you're fine." Kind of like scrolls it behind the ears.
Yeah. It's kind of, looking at it is like looking into this dark, actually even looking at it for folks who have not seen this creature before, it is like looking into this very dark patch of reality. Light sort of falls into it a little bit. It's a very dark pygmy alpaca, basically.
But Shaw knows in her heart that this is fuzzy.
Yes, it is very fuzzy.
Fuzzy
fuzzy
things
is evil.
cannot be evil.
Of course not.
That is a rule of the universe.
Absolutely.
I'm just letting you know so you're aware. But
Maybe
by
it's
all
just a
means.
different kind of abyss, or who knows? We'll figure it out then. Thank
We'll
you for
figure it
telling
out.
me. Yes.
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 And Shaw or Vor will give Mop a little bit of additional scritch before we get it again.
Shaw will stand back up and sort of dust off her clothes and straighten her metal pieces and say, "So when we go to the park, do we think we might die? Because I feel like if we think we might die, we should maybe take the clue to the third hand before we die."
I don't think we're gonna die. I mean, there's 4 of us, and I feel like we can defend ourselves pretty well. We sort of proved that when we were out in Yestervale.
I just feel like normally you just send an invitation and you're like, "Hey, come meet me in the park." And then we go, like you say, "Hey, come meet me in the park. I have mimosas," and we go to the park. And instead this person's like, "Come meet me in the park or I'm going to destroy a whole section of Fartown." And that
Well,
seems
but they didn't say that they were going to destroy it. They said if we wanted to avoid suffering, that means that they might know something about what's going to happen and they need our help to stop it. That's the way I'm choosing to interpret this. Also, I did send a message to somebody, and I'm not sure if this is related or not, but I told them I needed to meet with them, and I don't know if this is a response. It could be.
Okay.
Take a look at the note again. Is there a time frame on it that they gave us?
Today.
It says today, but you do get a sense of immediacy about it, but
Okay.
it doesn't. There's not a specific time frame on it.
I'm okay to go to the park. Mac, how are you? I know you weren't feeling very well. Is Mac still wearing the mimosa hat with the 2 straws?
No, he's actually carrying it now by his side reverently. I don't think there's any danger. No danger at all. Dated.
Okay. Well, then we'll go there and we'll run our other errand later.
As long as you feel this is more important than the book.
And the book's going to take us a while. I don't think we're finding the book today.
That's true.
Okay.
The clue we got was not especially specific, so we're going to be chasing that one down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go stop Mac's house from falling onto my house. Then we'll figure out 75-year-old clues.
Yeah. So, so you're heading to the park? Is that am I divining correctly?
Yes. I think.
Okay. Just a quick. Just making a quick check, and I know I've already typed this in our little chat. But are we good to go on for like another scene at this point? I just want to make sure because I know we're past 10. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw a card now. Oh, holy crap!
Where are you going? No.
Hey, thank you for the subs. That is awesome.
Oh.
Someone has gifted a bunch of subs. Awesome. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. Yay. I'm going to be drawing a card whilst the subs are rolling in. Thank you so much. That is awesome of you folks. Really? Really? This is the card that we get on the... Okay, well, that's fine.
That doesn't sound fine. What do you...
Yeah, it's on the Indigo. We're getting it on the Indigo Sun, but it is a silver card. Let me go ahead and change to the Silver Sun so that we've got that running. There we go. And so the card that I have drawn, strangely enough, I'm gonna have to figure out how to interpret this based on certain things. But yeah, yep. This is yeah. I have drawn the lucky coin.
Yay! My favorite card. It's a good omen for 4.
So as a quick reminder, it means good fortune, wealth, freedom, unexpected luck. Is unstructured. We put a lot of value in objects. We place a lot of importance in their presence in our lives. Some people might have a favorite shirt, a trusty handkerchief, or, of course, a lucky coin. Armed with a talisman such as this, no harm can befall us. But we only barely understand the truth of such things. The luck they bring, if they work, never comes in an expected form. Something good is coming in divination. It's likely nothing one planned on, or was expecting, and it can come in many forms. Success, money, or the elimination of a problem. The lucky coin is a positive card turn, and suggests that the person in question has perhaps less structure weighing upon them than they thought. Fewer strings for the marionette, so to speak. They are more free than they believed. Free to act and do as they pleased. Well, this will be interesting. This is a notions card.
Morris
Wow.
family.
So this is going to be... this. Well, let's go. So... Yeah. Mac and Vor are both going to be at pluses here if we get to any rolling, which we may or may not. So, you proceed to the Park of the Path. The Park of the Path, as it is described, it's a small park. It's near this. You can see the carousel from where you are. The carousel's in like slightly different park, but it's like on the same, almost on like the same lawn. There's like a street bisecting it, but you can just hop over there if you want. The carousel is only slightly dangerous according to the lore of the city. The Park of the Path. It's a small park with 9 fountains laid out in the pattern of the Path of Suns.
Mm-hmm.
Each fountain having water, the color appropriate to its sun. It's very quiet when you, as you are entering. You see, all of you, next to the blue fountain, which, let's see, if you're at one end of the park, let's say if you're entering from the direction of, say, the south end, or if you're if you're entering from sort of the west end, you're not too far from it. Blue is very, very near the start. I think it's the 3rd, if I remember right. Yeah.
Yeah. Silver, green, blue.
Yeah. It's so hard to remember without it marked, but I think it's getting in there. It's been seeping in over the last few years. But by the blue fountain, you see a figure, tall figure, in a long blue coat.
you about to show us a picture we've already seen once today?
You've already seen the picture today.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put him in the on the overlay real quick, so folks will see. This is unmistakably Dark-Eyed Manfred.
Is there anybody else in here, or is it just Dark-Eyed Manfred?
He's the only one you can see in the park right now.
Okay, well.
Shaw looks around and sees this figure and looks at everyone else and says, "Is that who we're supposed to know when we see him? Because I don't know him."
Vor looks at Mac.
Mac is already inscribing a symbol on the ground.
I need to know something very quickly. Have any of you actually gone into the park, or are you still outside the park?
Ominous question is ominous.
I just need to know.
Yeah, I'm probably still outside.
I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
I think we're probably at the entrance still, like peeking in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Mac is just going to pause and just be very still when he sees Dark-Eyed Manfred there. And then that's when he's going to start hastily drawing a summoning sigil.
I whisper, like, Shaw, real quick before we go to see them, did you want to try and see if we could see what the possible future of this event could be?
I mean, that seemed to maybe be a better thing to do before we got here, but I mean, I guess.
Probably.
Do take your time.
I don't think he's seen us yet, so.
No, he definitely did see us. Mac mutters as he starts. He starts his summoning. He's going to summon the hunt.
Possible he wasn't talking to us.
I'm pretty sure he was talking to us.
Do you do anything particularly do you do anything in particular to try to entice the hunt to appear?
No, I think this is there is going to be a sense of urgency behind it, as if this time Mac is not really screwing around.
This is an actual emergency.
Yes.
Okay. If that sense flows through it all, you see the hunt starting to appear in the circle. As she is, it's like she's only partially stepped through. So she's a little transparent at the moment. See, again, for those who want the reminder, the hunt is basically a tall woman with antlers, and wearing pelts, and she's not currently on horseback, but she will in at least partially appear as though she is sort of on her way, sort of possibly on her way, 1 foot in, as it were. And she looks over at you, at Mac. What is it?
There's a gentleman over there who seeks to murder me.
She quickly glances over. You have been deceived. There is no one there. There is a simple enchantment over the borders of this field before us that is meant to protect those inside from being observed by those outside. But there is no one beyond that field. As, let us say, I have an understanding of such things.
Interesting. You'd think if someone wanted to talk to us, they wouldn't put an image of dark-eyed Manfred in the park.
I suspect, whoever that is, they are trying to still communicate with you, but they are not physically present.
Well, it's comforting, I suppose.
Do we think it's a trap?
Based on what I see here, it is merely to prevent others, less skilled than myself, from listening in.
It doesn't seem like a trap. But caution is probably appropriate.
So, Chantanelle and I have a thing that we can do together where we can peer through the veils surrounding to snatch a glimpse of the future.
Mm-hmm.
We could try to do that to see if we could see what was going to happen so we could at least be prepared. It's an indigo spell.
Yep.
Okay.
This spell is... What are you attempting to see? Again, remind me.
Relation. I don't think it doesn't specify. So
It doesn't specify, but it just says, I learned the basic details of one event that will occur within the next few days if I or those I do, or if I and those I know do not intervene in any way. I do get to determine which event I learn of, but I will know at least, I do not get to determine which event I will learn of, but I will know at least one person involved with or affected by it. But our hope would be to try to focus it on this moment to have it be something about what we're about to see. But of course, magic is magic.
This is true. Okay. Yes, this is a divinatory thing.
Yes.
And so let me see
It's
if
a level 3, so...
Mhm.
Well, do you remember how that works? Do we both spend 3 sorcery?
I don't remember because it's a joint spell, not something that.
Right. But we can't both spend 1.5.
Right.
So I guess we both spend it.
Let's see. Did I put that? No, of course I didn't. That's okay.
Are you still under the lucky coin?
Divination's and
Yes.
information gathering. There it is.
Does that give us a boon?
Coming in.
Is the lucky coin indigo?
The lucky coin is silver.
Silver.
So let me see here. The level of the effect is not added to the venture. Since the level of the effect has already opened the door to the possibility of asking the question, you can't count it again to determine the success of your undertaking. If the information directly involves in it. See, this is an interesting thing because it's a little vague, the way the spell itself is. You're not necessarily trying to learn it about. You're trying to focus it on this moment, but it's. I don't know that you're necessarily trying to focus it directly at, say, Manfred. So it's a level 3?
Yes.
Level 3 spell? Let's see. You just use the level. This means that it's harder to use magic to learn information about a level 7 than a level 4. Okay. Sounds like if the divination has no NPC object or other level target, then I use these guidelines. So it's not commonly known information, it's rarely known information. Or could it be secret information? That's the question. You don't really want anything too specific. You just want to know. You want to know what happens if you don't go into the park, right?
Well, yeah, or what happens if we do go into the park? Like if there's a trap, or kind of like what if we just proceed
if you proceed as though you naturally just go ahead into the park. Gotcha. Yeah. All right. So I would count that as probably, so it'd be like a difficulty, it would be a challenge of 5 to try to perceive this thing. It's not critical enough to be higher than that. Again, apparently according to the rules of these things, you actually cannot use the level of the spell toward this. Okay. According to the divinations page here.
Can I use other bene?
Yeah, sure.
And do we each roll? How does this work?
I think there's it's a spell that both of you that you're casting jointly, right? Mm-hmm. So I would assume one of you, I'd say we pick one of you to lead, and that person will roll. And but both of you can contribute things, I think, equally to this. So it's not going to be limited. I'm not going to limit it to just one point from the other person for helping, if that makes sense.
Well, my skills are non-helpful. I don't think that being charming or having etiquette is going to help me with this.
Would searching help?
Yeah, we can use that. So that'll knock it down to 4.
The only other thing maybe would be survival.
Yeah.
And I'll throw a perception bene in.
Okay. That'll knock it down to a 2 or better.
Yeah, I can have some perception to spare also.
You want to throw in some perception also?
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll knock it down to 1 or better.
Do you want to roll, or do you want me to roll?
You're the more cautious one.
And you are rolling 2 dice. Keep in mind. Where you are casting a spell. Okay, yeah. You did fine.
No zeros.
No zeros. So you look briefly, you try to look ahead to see what happens if you go into the park and have this conversation, and honestly, I think the what you see, considering also that the lucky coin is in play, is that you're going to get something out of this. And it's either going to be information or something you want. But you do not see yourself coming to harm.
I think we come back from this divination spell, and I look at Shantano and go, so not a trap. Do you agree not a trap?
Didn't feel like one to me.
Not a trap. I think we can go in.
Yes, I say we risk it.
Are we ready?
Yeah, let's go.
I pat him up on the forehead and say, you should stay here. Be careful.
Yeah. Actually, I should point out that now that you've drawn attention to it, you see the hunt reacts to Mop. seeing it, she is a bit wary.
Oh,
She turns back to she looks at it. She turns back and just sort of says, "You keep this being with you."
well, he sort of follows me around. But he's very nice. He's never hurt anyone.
Be
He doesn't even nip
wary.
at all.
This is a very delicate time to have such creatures around you.
Why?
It hails from the void.
Well, I mean, maybe it comes from the void, but it's fuzzy.
She narrows her eyes. Like,
See, I'm not the only one who's been exploring the void.
she looks over at Mac. Need I be here any longer for this? For this nothing you would have, you would require defense against, or this knowledge that your friends for some reason are keeping very dangerous beings with them? Anything else we need to discuss at this time?
No, Your Eminence.
I see this alarmed you. She says, looking over at Mac, not Mac, glancing in the direction of Manfred, and looks back at Mac. But do consider simply preparing next time. You have much to do. And she steps back and vanishes.
Awkward.
Can we go in?
I'm ready to go in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, you roll on into the park. There's a slight feeling, it's not an electric feeling exactly, but a sort of warm thing happens as you step through the field that surrounds the park. And you begin to approach. You see he hasn't moved from where he's standing by the blue fountain. Finally decided to come in, I see.
I'm just taking some necessary precautions.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure. Or have we? Your face is familiar.
It depends on who I'm speaking with. Given that we've already demonstrated you're not actually here.
Yes, of course. You don't think I would actually be here, do you?
Am I to...
He just says, just sort of glancing over Mac.
Then am I to understand we are actually speaking to Manfred? Or is this somebody else?
He just spreads his arms.
It's not much of an answer.
I am here to negotiate the release of your prisoner. And he is looking, and when he says that, he looks directly at Shah.
Excuse me?
Well, it's quite simple. My employers wish you to release your prisoner.
Who are your employers?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Well, then I'm not at liberty to help you.
Don't be so certain. They'd be willing to make an exchange.
Whoa.
Yeah,
What
yes. There's, I believe, an individual similarly being held. And he gestures, and above the blue fountain, you see that the blue water laps up, and you see an image that appears above it. And the image is of the foreman.
Well, I guess we know who your employers are.
He shrugs and says, take it as you will.
Explain to me the deal of the swap.
No, it's quite simple. And he just sort of looks over. He sort of looks over at the one sun down. He says, "You place the cage there atop the indigo fountain, and he shall be placed here."
So you're going to take the infiltrator and my cage.
Oh, we won't be taking your cage.
I turn to Vor and I say, I don't want to give him up. He was your ticket.
I don't consider. I can always find a different means of speaking to the church if I need to. It's not. I wouldn't. Please don't use that as your basis for making a decision here. I'm more concerned about why they want this person back. If this is just some random operative, they probably wouldn't care. Which means that either this person knows something, or is capable, or has something that they want. And that concerns me.
That is a good point.
This isn't just any operative.
Exactly.
This is the operative.
Perhaps we're merely just trying to avoid an inconvenience. A one-time offer.
I don't think that an organization sends you if they're merely attempting to avoid an inconvenience.
Well, they haven't
Technically,
exactly
it's your
sent me
second
anywhere, have
offer.
they?
Well, you're the one who said you were here.
Did I?
You did.
Are we not meeting?
Doesn't mean you're here. Can I, because he's a projection, I want to flip, run my hand through where his projection is.
When you do, the projection vanishes and appears on the opposite side of the blue fountain.
So not here then.
Of course not. You have rather a, shall we say, a very unusual approach to secrets and security. You know you were followed here, by the way.
That's just Mop.
I'm not talking about that creature.
And what are you talking about?
Well, you can't see them if you look at them directly, but they can't hear us right now.
You didn't exactly say that we had to come in secret.
He says, "Yeah, I was rather curious as to how much initiative you would show in that regard."
We have nothing to hide.
Of course. Nothing to hide. He says, looking at you in a very piercing way. He says, that is, of course, what you're known for, isn't it?
What, having nothing to hide?
Yes. All the cards right on the table, eh? Everyone knows what Vormeravanis is thinking. You suspect he's being sarcastic.
Yeah, I know.
Just for those who for whom there's any doubt.
And Vor's wondering now if he's referring to things that she doesn't remember anymore, also.
It does sound a little cryptic, it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, they're
I think Vor's gonna laugh and be like, well, I'll have you know, at this point, I don't remember enough secrets to hide them.
Ah, yes. An unfortunate state, that.
One that I understand you may have had something to do with.
Did I?
So I heard.
It may surprise you to know that your exit was happened before I got involved.
You'll forgive me if I don't believe you.
Well, amusing though this is, I ask again, do you wish to make the exchange or not?
So while they're sort of bantering back and forth, I'm gonna pick up the cage in my hand and I'm gonna cast Interrogate Prisoner.
Okay.
Which is my forte ability.
Mm-hmm.
It lets me, I can pry into the prisoner's mind to get information in the form of the answer to a single question. Mm-hmm. I get an answer only if the prisoner knows the answer. Each time I use this ability, I roll a die. If I roll a 0, the prisoner dies.
Yep.
I hope that you're asking what I think you're asking.
You look
What
into
do you think I'm asking?
I'm hoping you're asking why they want him back.
Yes.
You look into the cage. You look into the cage. You see she's still sitting there. She's been reading one of the books that's in there. One of the ancient mythology books that you sucked into the cage back in the library.
I think also because it's Shaw, there's also books on becoming a better person. There's a whole stack of self-improvement books,
Yeah, those are lying in a pile in the corner.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, so let me open my Roll20. Okay, so it's a level 5 spell. Do you want to tell me what the difficulty is?
That's an excellent question. It's funny. I thought that it's a thing you can just do, and you just roll a die.
Well, it says level 5 plus 1 die, so I'm guessing I have to roll for it.
Oh, I'll give you her level. Her level is 5. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Probably not.
So I mean, technically, I roll just to see if there's flux.
Yeah.
Right.
Or death.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and then I then need to roll a different d10 to see if I murder her?
Yeah. No, okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll for flex first, and then we'll do the questioning, and then we'll
Okay.
roll the other d10. All right. So no flex.
No flex.
And also, okay, you rolled a 4 and a 5. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so my question is why is it worth it to your people to get you back? Like, why is it so important to them to get you back?
And you see, she's like, they probably don't want you to reveal me to the Church of Midnight. Because then they'll know that we've infiltrated. You just don't want me to talk.
I see. I can't ask you a second question, but while we're having this chat, if you wanted to tell me what you wanted, you could probably tell me.
Let me just look at my note on her real quick, just in case there's something. Yeah. What do I want? Oh, what? Yeah, she says. I want your reality to end.
Like, I just throw the scarf back over the cage. Well, friends, I think it's choice. Do we think we can, if we hand her over, then it'll be harder to prove to the Church of Midnight what's going on. But also the foreman is clearly in distress.
I'll be perfectly honest. I don't know the foreman or have any kind of relationship there. I've contacted flashback. Vor's not been present in any of the sessions where we've interacted with the foreman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, none whatsoever. No relationship there.
Yeah. I mean, you know who he is, and you've like seen him in the neighborhood before, probably.
Exactly, but like, yeah, Vor's not talked with him or anything in the past. I personally have no reason to trust Manfred or his masters. And given the stated goals of, we know it's the Vespertine that's doing this. I think, pretty sure we from our original interrogation. Yeah. Given the stated goals of the Vespertine, maybe this is just me, but I do think this is sort of bigger than one person territory. But that's just my opinion. And if the rest of the group feels otherwise, I'm happy to go along with both.
Anino turned to Manfred and be like, can we be assured that the foreman is of sound mind and body? Because Shaw has treated this prisoner with the utmost care.
Oh, yes, I just witnessed your little interrogation a moment ago. That seems like you are being very careful.
I was very careful.
Mhm.
And like, I think when Shaw says I was very careful, it's like the first time you've seen her get intensely dark, because all she can think about is like, I murdered somebody in this cage intentionally. Yeah. I know what it is to not be very careful.
That seems to, he just sort of is like, he looks back a bit, but he kind of smiles, nods. Kind of gives you a sort of a nod of respect. And says, "Oh, I do believe that. Well, I've not met the man directly, but my understanding is that their questioning has been somewhat vigorous of late. Not entirely certain how much longer he might have, but of course, yeah, he could be made of sterner stuff. Hard to know."
Could you, I don't know, just fuck off for a second so we could talk?
Hang on, I might be able to do something about that.
And he'll actually, well, when you say that, he will shrug and be like, he pulls out his pocket watch, looks at it. 2 minutes. And he closes it and vanishes.
Awesome. I don't know what to do. Vor, you're right. It is bigger than just one person, but the foreman is very important to me and to us. He's connected to our past somehow. And he's looked out for us. He's there because he was trying to keep them away from us. So I don't know what to do. Can we, save him anyway? He's in this giant machine.
Well, I remember you talking about that. Well, I mean, I could try to pull him here. So they've got an image up there of him, or they did. I could try to physically pull the foreman to this location.
Circumvent the deal.
Yes, and basically just pull the foreman out of wherever he is. We keep the prisoner and we get the foreman. And Manfred's not here, or so he claims.
I mean, even if you could find some sort of information that would help us get him out later, we could do that and just say no to the deal.
I could do that too, but I don't think I'll have time to do both.
Okay. Well, what do you all think? We try, and if it doesn't work, then do we agree to this deal? Or do we say no? I think my feelings are too involved to make a good choice.
What do you think? You're muted, by the way.
Mac wonders, as if we've made any good decisions lately. Outside of brunch. So this gentleman tried to murder me in my sleep last night, and I'm not feeling very cooperative.
Yeah.
Right. But my understanding is that some, if not all of us, have a particular goal that would severely inconvenience his employers. So, well, I mean, we could simply just go back for after brunch and, spend our idle days in brunch.
If we do this.
Or we push forward and solve the mystery of where before the are near, I guess.
If we do this, we're going to need to go to the church at midnight right away.
Okay,
Where we're going to paint a target on our backs. If we refuse this deal. I'm okay with that, to be clear. I mean, I don't feel like we haven't exactly been running around with targets on our backs already. But we should be prepared to go straight to the church after this.
Okay.
I don't even think we should dignify him with an answer. I think we should just go.
Well, do you want me to try to pull the foreman out or not? Is the foreman's image still on top of the fountain?
No, that was only there briefly.
Okay. Yeah. If you want me to try these, the magic I have in mind is we need to get that image back up there.
Okay. It's really dangerous, I think. But we can try.
I think we can convince him to do that. Maybe say that we need to hear him speak or something like that. I feel like that's standard in hostage negotiations.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I'll let y'all handle the talking, and as soon as we get that back up there, I will go to work.
Something you could
I guess. Go ahead.
something you could prepare before we ask him for the image?
I mean, I'll ask you, Jim. Is this like I can vor weave the magic ahead of time and basically just like hold it to go off whenever?
What kind of now? I need to know what kind of spell this is that we are talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I'm a weaver, so this is just me making things up as usual.
Oh, okay.
But so what I'm looking at here is effectively what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take the image of the foreman and make it the real foreman. I'm trying to solidify it like that is
So
the
you're
foreman.
trying to reach into an impossible place to bring him
Yes.
into this. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult.
Yep. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I have good weaver aggregates for this. So I have attraction from lust, also compulsion from lust, either of those.
Mhm.
I have hardness from diamond, which I think gets at the like making real physical quality, and then I have movement from fire.
Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. Goodness. Okay. I am looking at a thing. Yeah. All right. So. Yeah, I mean, we can give it a try.
Or likes to cause trouble.
Let's see what happens. So by this point, he is going to Manfred is going to pop back in,
Okay.
and
Shaw quickly says, "We don't
What?
believe you. We need to see. Bring the foreman back and have him speak. Say something so we know that it's him and not deception."
So you will need to first convince Manfred to do this.
Okay.
So let me just look at a thing real quick.
Take it that's his level of whatever.
It's going to be his level. I'm trying to figure out. I think resist is more specifically just for if you're casting spells at a person more than anything else.
Yeah.
It's not really going to be. Maybe that. So let me look at his other stuff. Oh, he hasn't even turned that thing. There's a thing he hasn't turned on right now. But let's see. Yeah, no, we're good. Okay, so the challenge level for this is just going to be 10.
Okay. I would like to use my charm for being charming, my etiquette for being able to work out how a hostage negotiation should go.
Okay.
I'd like to use my expansive endeavor to apply all 3 of my interaction bene.
Okay. That's
I don't think my connections to angels, craftspeople, or makers helps.
not for this
What else have I got? That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, so that's going to be 5 or better that we're looking at this point.
I think I might have used up all my good rolls, but whatever.
All right.
Hey.
Oh, you want to communicate? I suppose that's fine. And and he'll go ahead and he'll wave his hand, and you see the image of him appear again, but he's but it's actually now more it's not a still image. He's now if he's sitting in a chair, and he's yeah, I think that what happens is that a shadowy hand comes into the frame. This is a hand that looks like almost it's made of shadow. And it passes through him. And he wakes, he's sort of slumped over in a chair, and he wakes suddenly, gasping for a moment when this hand passes through his chest. I'm like,
Hi. Hi. Are you?
oh, just taking a quick nap,
Oh,
he says, just sort of
lovely.
glancing
That's
up.
very important for rest.
Yeah. Some people don't seem to understand that, he says, just sort of looking at someone you can't see.
Well, that seems very rude of them.
Yes. Yeah, I'd say so. But, I'm afraid that my nurse here doesn't have a very good bedside manner. And there's again another moment when you can see partially this. It's like a being, like it could be made of shadow, but you can't see the whole thing. You can't see its face, because you can see like torso down, stepping in and sort of again sort of its hands going through him for a moment, and he's like, yeah, terrible manners too. And I will say, yeah, Mac, you think, you're not absolutely sure, but you think you have seen this being before. Possibly. In the vision that was shown to you in the Enigma. It was the figure that was on the screen that Past Eroshka, and Mayfer were trying to identify as being possibly the figure that had hired Manfred to do something at that time that was probably involved targeting you.
Aha.
You think that's probably who it is. Again, you can't see their face, so you're not absolutely certain, but it looks probably like it's that type of being. In any case. So, yeah, he's just quipped again that it's like terrible bedside manner and all, and that's not, yeah, they're very rude.
My plan is to step forward towards the portal to try and take Manfred's attention towards the portal and away from Vor,
Okay. Yeah.
hoping that can give maybe an extra die to Vor, or some sort of like
It'll help a little
helper.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at this point, I'm trusting Sha to do what Sha needs to do to get this image of the foreman back and like cook it on a spell here.
Okay. Well, Vor. So the challenge because of what Manfred has available is going to be 14 to affect this spell.
All right. So I'm guessing my spell doesn't have to be 14, but I still have to get to 14 with my venture, yeah? Or
Yeah. Basically, you have to get to a point where it's possible. So, and this is why I usually do the math the way that I do, even though it doesn't say to do it in the rule book, because it helps clarify it for everybody.
Right.
In other words, to make it possible, you need at least 5 points to make this possible.
Yes.
So as a reminder, you've got one helping. You're gonna get one level of help from Sha on this.
Okay.
So that'll that'll knock it down to a 13.
Okay. Chana, I have a skill in understanding magic that lies outside codified practices. Is that helpful here?
Stand by. I think it will help here.
Okay.
Part of this is what's going on is somewhat codified. Manfred is an apostate, but part of what is going on in the place that you can kind of see him in, you can't see it too well, but you know that wherever he is, it's in a place that's like a pocket dimension, but also not exactly like a pocket dimension. There's something really weird about it.
All right.
So the whole thing of his existence right now would fall under that. So that will help you. So that would knock it down to 12 or better.
That's a level 2 skill.
That's a level 2 skill.
So that will take
knock
it
it down to 11 or better. Yes.
Okay. So proposal. 11 sorcery.
Ooh. Now sorcery. It's if you're looking at doing a spell at a level 11 spell, is what we're talking about here. Making it a level 11 deliberately.
Yes.
There will be an effect of some kind
Hey.
if you do this.
That's fine.
I'm going to ask you to roll for flux
Sure.
if you do this, but I need to make clear there is going to be a cost.
Right.
I don't know what that cost is yet, because it will involve drawing a card probably.
That's fine. I accept the cost.
Yeah.
This is the weird backlash Vor gets on magic is some of my most enjoyable things in this game, like her now ability to hear the mimes. So please bring it on.
All right.
Can Mac assist Sha in distracting Manfred? Because I think we've pretty much well.
Well, yeah, you can
that,
just. Yeah, I mean, you are. Yeah, that's easy. That's easy for you.
I know how to push buttons, but
so yeah, that's.
Does game theory kind of apply here? Because Vor and Mac have that connection. And I feel like
True.
I don't think it's I don't think it's gonna work out for this. I will say that you're gonna be able to help just by talking to him, because you are already by your very nature a distraction to him. So you'll be able to give at least one level of assistance to it.
So then I only have to expend 10 points of sorcery.
Yeah.
Still a crazy spell.
Actually, okay. So what if Sagan? What if she borrows Sagan's for casting here? I mean, this is kind of outside of codified practices, so the very idea of borrowing Sagan's buffs to intellect at +2 could.
Yeah, so he gives you +2 intellect, basically available to use. I mean, that basically would just mean that you're using someone. You're spending someone else's Benny, basically. In this case, Sagan's.
It's up to you. I'm perfectly happy to spend the 10 sorcery.
And I try casting a spell to help bridge the gap. I mean, I don't know if it's something that's possible based off the spell.
Well,
but
the interesting thing here, I mean, there's the thing is that because of the nature of what she's attempting right now, she's already got an auto success, but she is going to roll for flux. So unless you're trying to, but I mean, if you want to try to make a case for knocking it down so she doesn't have to spend as much sorcery, there's that. If you want to try to help in that way.
I mean, it's up to y'all. I can always take an action recovery after this. It's not.
Yeah. Or if you want to knock it down enough that it seems like greater chance of success if she just rolls it. You know, it depends on how you want to do this. But, what is your what is it we're looking at here? What did you want to do to help?
Like this vision. Can we like consider it like a window or something?
It's almost a window. It's
if I can use cryptathesia on it.
Remind me what that is?
It's a level 2 spell, just +1 die. Wave of with a wave and a word, I see beyond the wall, door, or other barrier that I touch. For as long as I touch it, it's as if I sit on the other side.
Oh, you want to see the other side? Yeah, I think you could do that. With this, it's not exactly a barrier, but you also know where he is. So, and you've been there before. So you could conceivably, if you want to be able to see more past there. Now, as to whether that would help, I think that's kind of a question.
I don't know that it matters from Moore's perspective.
It might if you're... Well, I can see what you're saying, because it's like if you're trying to get sort of a... You're about to try to pull him from this place.
Yes.
And so... And I can see where knowledge of that... Of what it... Of what's on that side might work out. I mean, if you decide to do that, I'd just give it another... I'd give you another... thing on it, so it would be 9 or better.
Even if it doesn't help, I would at least try to get a look at the face of the shadow hand.
Yeah, I mean, you could see that.
That's legit. Yeah.
So I mean, that would be a thing. And because of the nature of what we're doing, I'm not going to ask you to roll necessarily, but you can, you just basically cast the spell. You just spend for the spell, and then you would, then I'll let you see this, because there's a lot happening right now. This is part of a different effort. But yeah, I mean, so you can try to sort of coordinate it. And you folks of course have to do this fast. As this is happening. But you know that that's the plan, so you can step forward and be like, sort of like do a quick glance and be like left, or, whatever you need to do to sort of, even with body language, kind of indicate it's like this.
And if we're relying on like Vor trying to get some kind of image from Shantano, Vor can just peek into Shantano's head.
I mean, there's that too, potentially, if you want to let that happen.
Like cast the spell. Yeah. I'll look at it while you're looking at it in your head, and then use that to help me.
You want to do that?
Works for me.
Okay.
All right.
This will be fun.
Hello, when the GM says that.
Okay. So, are we doing it? You're down to, at this point, only having to spend 9 sorcery if you want to do this for the auto hit.
I'm doing it.
Please roll a d10 so we can see if there is flux.
All right.
There is no flux when you do this. I'm going to draw a card now, so that I can find out.
I just need to say I'm very disappointed that there was no flux here.
I mean, something's still gonna happen
I
to
mean,
Vor, so
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
something is still guaranteed,
I
but
feel
it's
a little
not
let
perhaps
out
going to
after
be
all that.
There's
quite
no
as...
fucks on top of
Oh,
it.
look at that. Look at that. Okay. Let me quickly, let me go ahead and show.
I just want to point out also that I should have gotten a +1 anyway. I should only have to spend 8 sorcery because it was the lucky coin, and that's a +1 for Vor. Forgot about that.
Oh, you have, it's your thing? Your heart?
Yeah, it was my family.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, that'd only be 8 still. I was wondering about that. Then it fled my mind. Let me take this.
What nonsense do we have now?
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull this card up here real quick. I'm sure it'll be fine.
That's not encouraging.
Yeah, no, it'll be just fine. Okay. So this is card 29. This is the Doctor. This is the Nemesis of Visions.
Okay.
As once again as a reminder here. Let's go ahead and head over to it. Yes. Its meanings are wisdom, health, dependence upon others, and disease. Doctors help, but it's a help we'd rather not need. No one wants to see a doctor. We only see them if something's gone frighteningly wrong. They have knowledge, perhaps secret knowledge, and an insight few can match. But these are secrets about disease and death. Can one delve so deeply into such topics and not come out affected? The Doctor is the nemesis of the Visions family. This enigmatic, genderless figure is a harbinger of illness and plague, but there's also the possibility of succor or even remedy from the disease they foretell. This is the one where the description has a typo in it. There is an inherent contradiction to the Doctor, then. They are the hero that we really do not want. In divination, although sinister in appearance and position in its family, the Doctor card can mean good health and a wisdom in dealing with the challenges that life can bring. However, there's always an undercurrent of dependence with the turn of this card. It's not the wisdom of the person in question, but the wisdom of someone else. The presage of well-being comes from the intervention of some outside force. Worse, however, sometimes the Doctor suggests not health, but illness.
So, since my spell is technically divination, does that work on my spell?
So here's how this goes.
Oh boy, here we go.
So, you cast the spell. What does this look like when you cast the spell?
I like the idea of this being Vor taking a moment to stand behind the rest of the group, so she's a little bit obscured and you can't really see her. Almost I love the name Weaver because I love the visual that it implies, almost that she is stringing this together and sort of making a little almost like a chain or a necklace of lights in her hand. And then when she's ready and when it's done, she's just gonna yeet it at the foreman's image, and then there's probably a really loud of light, and when it clears, the real foreman is sitting in the park with us.
So yes, but the way that this comes to pass, as you are doing this, for support and assistance, you look into Shantano's mind as Shantano is looking upon this specter-like being, whom you can see. Its features aren't hugely defined. A lot of it is sort of in darkness, but you get a good look at what this thing looks like. Sort of the glowing eyes type thing, and the shrouded appearance. And in this room, this chair is actually in one of the cages inside the the endless machine. This place. And you see that, Vor, you're going to see this too. As you look into Shantano's mind, and this is only a split second in reality, but of course in the mindscape, time can pass. So you have a little more time, perhaps. You see not just what lies beyond this image, beyond this portal, if you will, this thing you're trying to will into being a portal, but you see again, just beyond it, an abyss very similar to what you saw. A little abyss, similar to what you saw when you looked into Mop's mind. And from inside it, you briefly see this little sort of cyclone-looking thing appear. And as it looms closer, you realize it's not little at all. And a pair of glowing eyes. Deeper and more menacing than the pair of glowing eyes that Shantano is currently gazing on directly, appears within this cyclone. And as you're trying to get a hold of this spell and make this happen, will this to happen, you feel this being's presence as it is looking at you through a connection that Shantano has rather intimately with it. And you hear it say, "There you are, Vanus. How delightful to see you again. Perhaps we can play a new game soon. I'll even help get you started." And in addition to the waves of energy coming off of you as you cast this spell, there's a brief lash of darkness, of void, that snakes out with it, forcibly grabs hold of the foreman, who jolts, rather in a similar way to the way that he jolted when the specter creature's hand passed through him, but with 10 times the intensity. Like his eyes are rolling up into his skull. He shoots forward through this thing and collapses onto the ground in front of you. And Vor, your mind is abuzz. This feeling of this cyclone that you no longer see when you break contact with Shantano's mind, but it still feels a little bit like it's there. Manfred sees this, just raises an eyebrow.
If he's
And he says,
pausing,
and he says, "Well, that was rather unsporting of you, but
when you don't like the rules, you change the game."
an excellent idea. I do hope you've inspected all your residences recently. A week is a long time to be away from home. Until next time." And he vanishes. And I think that is where we're going to leave off for the evening. Okay. We slowly pull forth, slowly pull back. Are we doing all right? I'm going to go ahead and ask this on air. I usually wait until we go off air to ask.
No, it's good.
Is everyone
I'm
doing
good.
okay?
Nothing lost, everything gained. What can I say?
And the thing, just to be clear, the thing that Shantano has had experience with is like this demon enemy of reality thing, right?
The enemy of reason.
Enemy of reason. Okay, cool. Okay, just making sure. So Boar knows what she's in for now because he
Yes.
recognized her.
Yes. And now, you too have a little piece of the enemy of reason.
Fun. All right.
Sharing is caring.
Good friends share parts of demons amongst themselves.
So, we're going to go ahead and go around and do our joy and despair. And we can see how we're feeling about this. Once again, I'm going to start with Shah, with Djinnaya. Do you feel as though Shah has gained any joy or any despair this session?
I mean, Shaw's got a lot of feelings right now, but I think she definitely earned a despair because, like, it's been solidified for her that this creature is dangerous, and instantaneously a whole part of her brain was like, well, what do I do now? Well, I guess I have to take it back to the junkyard and leave it there. And then she was like, no, but if it's dangerous, now I'm responsible for it. And so I think she's really, I think that is a despair point.
Righto. So despair for you. And now over to Wilde. Do we think that Shantano got a joy or a despair today?
I don't know. I feel like in Shantano's twisted logic, today was a joy. I mean, they managed to bridge a gap between, like apostates do, stretching magic to beyond what they think can happen.
Yeah.
Finding new possibilities for spells. And finding that their whole looking into the void is maybe not just themselves, but a little bit of everyone in the group.
You're not alone. Excellent.
I mean, one of our companions has a void creature following them around.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Surely that must mean it's okay. Excellent. So joy for you. And now over to Anino. Do we think Mac has gotten any joy or any despair today?
So Mac already has 4 despair.
That's so much despair. Okay.
That is a lot of despair. And
yeah, we
don't have enough joy to buy a crux. So
yeah. So yeah, and actually I need to pay attention to the rule there, but it was that I kind of sort of established, and that's that you are face, you're getting joy, essentially.
I mean, you've got a mimosa hat.
That is true. If we stopped at brunch, you know, we would have been fine.
Better bring you joy.
You are soaking in despair, but there is perhaps there's this tiny bit of little mote of joy that happened earlier, and that's what we're going to hold on to and focus on.
At the end of all of this, Mac is just going to fit the mimosa hat on again, with all the dignity that he can muster, and say, you know, so the Church of Midnight then.
And now over to Danielle. Do you think that Vor got any joy or despair today?
I think if Vor could take 4 to spare, I think she would. But in lieu of 4 to spare, I will take a single one, because she's somewhat confirmed that Manfred wasn't involved in her rectification, and oh god, this thing knew her by name, and has done something to her, and is in reference to a game which she knows she was in trouble before because of a game. So yeah, that's a big old fat despair.
Okay, despair. Excellent. All right. Well, there we are. We shall go ahead, and my sincerest apologies for running over for as long as we have. But I do want to say that I loved this last scene and how everyone played it. This was really great, and so thank you all for this. It reminded me why I enjoy this game so much. But we will go around and do our outros once again in reverse order. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, and any final thoughts that you have about the session or favorite bits or what have you. And we shall start again with Danielle.
Hey everybody, I'm Danielle. You can catch me on Twitter at RyRyContour. I am presently private, but if you add me and you seem like a cool person, I'll probably follow you back. And yeah, I'm not doing anything else streaming wise at the moment. I will say that I have missed our brunch crew very dearly over the last couple of weeks, and this sort of session where we do something completely crazy and that would not be permitted in most other RPGs is the whole reason I love Invisible Sun so very much. So yes, very good session today.
Yay, me too. All right, and now over to Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. Yeah, I don't have anything else going on right now, shockingly. So the only place you can find me is right here, Saturdays at 8 p.m. I don't know, maybe I'll start streaming something. I'm playing a lot of games, so stay tuned on my Twitter for any and all relevant.
Awesome. Let's see. Yeah, I think you already did. Sorry, I'm having my I'm brain going through the strainer again. Were there any other final thoughts on the session, or are we good?
Yeah, no, I missed playing with everyone here, so it was really glad that we got to do this again, and looking forward to see what happens next time.
Awesome. Me too. And now over to Wilde.
Yes, hello, I'm Wild Engineer. I guess you can find me here. Right now, this is all I'm doing online, and yeah, just focusing on life. I really enjoyed getting back with all of y'all. I loved Mac's mimosa hat, meeting Shaw's companion, Alpaca with Mop, and now I have a Void Demon buddy with a Vor, so all is well.
This is good. This is very good. I cannot wait to see how the rest of this unfolds. And finally, over to Djinnaya.
Hello, my name's Djinnaya, and I make art and play good games with nice people. And you can find me a little bit on Twitter, but mostly on Instagram right now for art things, and then here on Saturdays. And I don't know, I feel like, I know we went over, but I feel like that was a lot. Like that we did a lot. Like we covered a lot of ground, even given having going over. That was a lot to fit in that period of time.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Playing long games.
Big plot
Yeah.
movement right there. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So excited. So many moving pieces. I'm so excited. We can play again tomorrow.
Well, as I think someone noted quite recently, possibly in our last session, the plots have gotten stacked up on top of each other so much at this point that it's very easy to stumble into them now. We're
Stacked up on top of each other like a Jenga tower.
yeah, maybe. We are rife with plot, overflowing with plot, and I, for one, can't wait to see where it goes next. But as for me, who am I? I'm Jim. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. So let's see, what do we have? On Wednesdays, here on this channel, we are doing a short campaign called Void's End. It is space noir. I am mashing together 3 different systems to do a thing where an investigator goes and tries to solve various crimes at a distant colony, a distant colony in space. It is a way station, and we've just started our narrative, and it's been a lot of fun so far, and I can't wait to see where else it goes. And that's on Wednesday afternoons. And then, of course, on Saturdays, we have this. And as has previously been stated, we're swarming with plot. And I'll be delighted to see more threads being picked up and possibly unraveled. We'll see how it goes. But we are going to go ahead and skedaddle. But when we hit the end card, I'm going to go ahead and send a raid over to, let's see, it's going to be either Happy Jack's RPG or Kyle with an N. What are they playing? They're doing a one-shot over on Happy Jack's. We'll go ahead and over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That, again, will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.